The Titanic was designed to make a luxurious voyage from England to New York. The ship was initially intended to sail with over 2,000 passengers and crew from Southampton, England to New York City. This was to be a 8-day journey, the passengers on board anticipating the ultimate in luxury travel. Tickets were sold to passengers wanting to make the long and luxurious trip aboard the Titanic. The ship was equipped with amenities such as a gymnasium, squash courts, and a luxurious dining room. Passengers were able to go to the top deck to see the open air during the journey. The Titanic was expected to arrive at its destination 8 days after embarking from Southampton, England. The ship was larger than most ships of the time and was expected to carry larger numbers of passengers and crew to America than what was the norm. The crew was composed of expert mariners and sailors that had been out on the sea many times before. Before the ship set sail, it was determined that the voyage would take 8 days and would include several stops along the way. The plan was to stop in France and Ireland and then, of course, make sure it was on track to arrive in New York City. The voyage was expected to be very smooth due to the technology and resources available. The crew was hand-selected to ensure the safety and comfort of the passengers and the crew. The voyage across the Atlantic was considered to be relatively safe and calculated. The original plan was for the Titanic to make the ambitious 8-day voyage with no delays. The navigation crew on board was highly experienced and able to respond to any potential incidents. The crew prepped and planned to make sure that the voyage went as expected and that all of the passengers arrived in New York City safe and sound. The trip was scheduled to last 8 days, during which time the passengers would be able to enjoy the luxurious accommodations of the Titanic. On their way, they would experience the calm and pleasant waters of the Atlantic. The ship was packed with food and supplies to ensure the passengers and crew had everything they needed for the journey. The Titanic was designed to provide a luxurious experience, with state-of-the-art instruments and amenities. Even 2 grand pianos were prepared and on board, suggesting entertainment long into the night. The trip was planned and recorded to ensure that the crew was able to keep their passengers safe and make the journey as pleasurable as possible for everyone on board. The crew was given all the details of the journey, including the route they would be taking to reach New York City. The route was chosen to make the voyage as smooth as possible, allowing for some sightseeing along the way. Planned stops in France and Ireland would be possible for those on board who wished to tour these countries.